In this video, we will define Solana, discuss some of the wacky technical advantages it has over Ethereum, and then discuss tokenomics, which you can use to forecast market movements. Now, before we get into Solana's technical details, hello everyone, welcome to Finance Wisdom. In this video, we're going to talk about what is Solana Crypto 2022. If you're new to this channel, do like and subscribe to the channel. To make our discussions on cryptocurrencies easier to grasp for you, we'll use analogies, tales, and examples. Let's discuss its incredible qualities as well as its creator, Anatoly Yakovenko. Was the person responsible for the first white paper? You should be aware of the fact that he is highly intelligent and has worked for Qualcomm for maybe 10 years. Attempting to read the white paper, his blockchain is named after the Solana beach that he particularly liked. But it is highly technical with a few comprehensible phrases here and there. Let's examine the factors that led to Solana's price increase in recent months. With a block duration of 400 milliseconds, Solana is very quick, particularly when compared to the 10-second or 10-minute block times of Ethereum and Bitcoin. Additionally, Solana promises that they can process up to 710,000 transactions per second, which is around 30 times as many transactions as Visa can now process. It doesn't imply they can accomplish 710,000 even if they've never been able to get over 50,000. It only indicates they haven't tried. The Solana network is thus inexpensive, enormous, and quick. I think it's similar to the MAT network where each transaction costs about a cent. Let's now discuss what makes them so quick and affordable. The consensus process of the blockchain, which is a fancy way of expressing how everyone agrees on what the blockchain should be, is the first thing that we need to describe. They don't actually employ proof of stake either, nor do they use proof of labor. In his white paper, Anatoly really provided a description of a novel technique dubbed proof of history. You must be aware that it is essentially proof of stake with the addition of the unique element of the time. Proof of history is a technique for adding time to blockchain data rather than a consensus process. We put exact dates and times on the block so that validators can know in what order to send blocks without having to send messages back and forth. This lets them work very quickly. Other blockchains must agree on a time frame, which is a major issue. We'll take it for granted, but on other blockchains, computers can't glance at their phones or even the sun to figure out what time it is, so they have to continually ask. The nodes, a technical term for the computers that make up a network, must communicate with one another. Before submitting a block, they must agree on a time, and in the world of computers, this chit-chat may take a lot of time. Solana resolves this issue by employing a proof of history to have everyone date their blocks and using a cryptographic proof so that they don't need to wait for everyone to agree on the time. In essence, we don't need to wait for other validators to review and approve our work since we may agree on the arrangement of the data in the blocks after the fact. In essence, proof of history enables nodes to just keep hurling blocks at us, and because some individuals have quicker internet than others, we can believe that they are being truthful about their sending date, arrange them once we get them, and then add them to the blockchain. There is now a little bit more to say about historical evidence, but in all honesty, it deserves its own film. Another intriguing feature of Solana is the simultaneous validation of around 25 blocks by 25 users. This is how, in terms of how they compare to proof of stake, they really beat Visa by such a significant margin. I like that there are no requirements to become a validator in Solana. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Now, I'll explain the proof of stake. You will need around 32 Ethereum, which is about $100,000 Solana, to compare with Ethereum 2.0. To vote every day, you simply need to hold a very modest quantity of the currency and pay a charge. But there's a catch. The only thing I don't like right now is the voting charge. 1 Solana every day or around $70,000 per year, seems absurd. But considering that approximately 1,000 individuals are now engaged in it, maybe they know something that I do not. Let's now discuss a topic that no other significant blockchain has yet to explore. It is known as C-level. Technically, this is only a catchy phrase to indicate that validators may execute smart contract code currently. Let me now give you a little explanation if you're not a developer. Consider the scenario where you have to cook, change the dishes, and then wash the car. Given that there is only one person, of these tasks would need to be completed in sequence. In terms of Solana, we thus refer to this as a serial job. The term parallel refers to the ability to do many tasks at once. For example, if you could create 2 other duplicates of yourself, you could cook, swap out the dishes, and wash the car all at once. When processing their smart contracts, Solana can basically accomplish that. Another thing I saw on their website was this quotation, which talks about how hardware is the bottleneck rather than software or concepts. The computing power of our network will increase by a factor of 2 each time NVIDIA increases the number of SIMD lanes. I find it intriguing how Bitcoin and Ethereum will function on the supercomputers we have in 10 to 50 years. Before we discuss the tokenomics of SOL, there is one more thing you should be aware of. Solana has quite different smart contracts than Ethereum. Solana employs the Rust programming language, while Ethereum runs its Solidity code on a virtual machine type architecture. Rust is a very low-level language, which makes it much more powerful but also means that it takes more effort to produce things in it. One drawback of this is that, unlike many other blockchains, the Ethereum network does not allow developers to just copy and paste their ideas in applications. Everything has to be completely recoded. They will have greater authority than smart contracts for Ethereum, however. Let's go on tokenomics now. I believe that SOL coin, which is utilized across the blockchain ecosystem for transaction fees, is the currency on the Solana network. I believe that Solana has both inflationary and deflationary effects. It's inflationary because they recently approved an inflation schedule where staking rewards are paid out at around 8, but they do get cut every few days by a very small amount until the final staking rewards hit 1.5% in 10 years. It's deflationary because, for a long time, all transaction fees were burned, but now only about half of them are. They began with a total quantity of about 500 million tokens, and as a result of the proof-of-stake payouts, that number will undoubtedly continue to rise. Before their original ICO, there were 4 private investment rounds, which are also relevant to early distribution. At a relatively low price, around 36% of their supply was sold over those 4 financing rounds and their first coin offering. They used to sell these items for about 25 cents a piece, but the price is now 200 cents. The project's founders receive an additional 13% of the tokens. The Solana Foundation received an additional 10%. The remaining 39% was used to support neighborhood projects, which are today managed by the foundation. I made a surprising discovery. There was a Solana wallet holding around 13 million tokens, but no one understood why. As a result, they just burned a large number of them. It's also important to remember that Solana truly went out in December 2020 for around 6 hours. An unreliable, decentralized protocol should never occur, so this is a bit concerning. It implies that the problem affected everyone connected to the network. Although it seems that nobody panicked in response to this news, this issue had virtually no impact on the price. Last but not the least, if you're an investor or planning to create a DApp for Solana, you should be aware that the company is currently in the beta stage. We've finished another video and thank you for watching. I hope you have learned something from this video. If you like this video, do give us a like, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below. Thank you and goodbye.